Chapter 7, Shadows and Whispers, Part 1, The Underworld's Pulse. The streets of Quandaria's lower districts were a far cry from the glittering spires and magical displays of the upper city. Here, the air was thick with the scent of cheap ale and desperation, and the only magic on display was the sleight of hand of pickpockets and con artists. It was, in short, my kind of place. I made my way through the winding alleys, my coat collar turned up against the evening chill. The sun had long since disappeared behind the city's towering skyline, leaving the streets bathed in the sickly glow of malfunctioning magical street lamps. My destination was a dive bar called the Rusty Nail, an establishment known for its watered-down drinks and loose-lipped patrons. If there was any chatter about the veiled hand's movements, this was where I'd hear it. As I approached the bar, a figure detached itself from the shadows of a nearby doorway. I tensed, my hand inching towards my wand, but relaxed as I recognized the newcomer. "Whisper," I nodded to the rail-thin urchin. Ears to the ground as always, I see. The child, I'd never been quite sure if Whisper was a boy or a girl, grinned, revealing a mouthful of crooked teeth. "Mr. Blackthorn, heard you was asking round about them shadow folk." I raised an eyebrow. "News travels fast." Whisper shrugged. "It's what I do. Got some interesting tidbits for you, if you've got the coin." I fished a silver piece from my pocket, flipping it to the child. "All right, let's hear it." The urchin's eyes lit up at the sight of the silver. "Well, word is them veiled hand types been recruiting heavy lately. Looking for folks with particular talents, if you catch my meaning. And they've been seen round the old Whispering Woods on the edge of town. Folks say the trees there have been acting funny, moving when they shouldn't be, if you know what I mean." I frowned. The Whispering Woods had always been a place of mystery. "Anything else?" Whisper hesitated, then leaned in close. "There's one more thing, but it'll cost you extra. It's scary stuff, Mr. Blackthorn." I sighed, pulling out another silver piece. "Out with it, then." The child's voice dropped to a whisper. "They say the Veiled Hand's got a new leader. Someone powerful. Real powerful. Folks been disappearing, not just nobodies, but important people too. And the ones that come back, they ain't right in the head no more, like their minds been scrambled." "Thanks, Whisper. Keep your ears open, yeah? And be careful out there." The urchin nodded solemnly, then melted back into the shadows as quickly as they'd appeared. I stood there for a moment, processing the information. The Veiled Hand was making bold moves, and this new leader sounded like bad news. But why the Whispering Woods? Shaking off my unease, I pushed open the door to the Rusty Nail. The bar was as dingy and smoke-filled as I remembered, packed with the usual assortment of down-on-their-luck laborers, petty criminals, and the occasional off-duty city guard looking to forget their troubles. I made my way to the bar, nodding to a few familiar faces. The bartender, a scarred ogre named Grok, grunted in recognition as I approached. "Blackthorn," he rumbled. "Been a while." "The usual?" I nodded, and he slid a glass of amber liquid across the bar. I took a sip, wincing at the burn. Grok's idea of whiskey was more akin to paint thinner, but it got the job done. "So, Grok," I said casually, "heard any interesting rumors lately? Maybe something about folks who like to play with shadows?" The ogre's eyes narrowed. "Dangerous questions, Blackthorn. The kind that get people hurt." I grinned, though it didn't reach my eyes. "Come on, Grok. You know me. Danger's my middle name." He snorted. Thought it was idiot, but he leaned in closer, his voice dropping to a low growl. "Listen, there's been talk. Strange folk coming through, asking questions about old magic. The kind of magic that ain't been seen in Quandaria for centuries, and they're offering good coin for information." "What kind of old magic?" I pressed. Grok shrugged his massive shoulders. "Don't know the details, but word is they're looking for a way to change things. Big things. The kind of change that reshapes cities." My blood ran cold. As I nursed my drink and listened to the murmur of conversations around me, one thing became clear. We were running out of time. The Veiled Hand was moving faster than we'd anticipated, and their reach extended further than we'd imagined. I needed to get back to the others, to share what I'd learned. But first, I had one more stop to make. If the Veiled Hand was interested in the Whispering Woods, then that's where I needed to go. Finishing my drink, I tossed a few coins on the bar and made my way to the exit. As I stepped back out into the night, the city seemed to press in around me, its shadows deeper and more menacing than before. Something was coming. Something big.